So I'm here in Argentina and I'm gonna go film some hot air balloons with FPV and with some cameras. Now, I want to show you the behind the scenes and the raw look of everything that goes on. Now, I only have about an hour to prepare for this and it just barely popped up. So I'm glad I have the chance to do this, but first I need to start off with the pre-production. So the first part of this is actually just pre-production and planning and making sure that I can actually fly there and everything else. So since this is about an hour or so of a notice to go out, it's not going to be that in depth, but I'm gonna work with chat, and I also use Notion to go through and make sure I map out my shots. Realistically, right now, since I don't have that much time, I'm not going to be able to map out every single shot and create a shot list. But right now, it's just going through and making sure I can fly in the area to make sure it's not near any airports and that I'm in the right airspace. After I work with this, then I'll go through and prep the gear and everything else. Okay, this is everything after the shoot, so it's a little bit messy, but let me explain to you what I just used. I just used the Sony A7 IV with a 24-70 Air 2, which is my travel go-to drone. Great footage, plus it's just an overall amazing drone. I have my 5-inch FPV. Now, this one just gets every shot that I need. You can't see it back there, but I've got a Cinewhoop. On top of that, I have my remote and digital goggles. So I run digital for almost anything now. In the beginning, I ran analog, but now that digital's out, I can't go back. For any professional shoot, I'd recommend digital. You can see everything a lot better. There's always the big debate, analog versus digital. Analog will have better range, but digital just, it's overall better. I mean, if you've never tried them, you'll see what I mean. Digital will give you, it's a different way of flying. It's like looking through a GoPro versus looking through like an old VHS tape. That's probably the best way I can explain it. So that's the main reason why I love digital, and it just looks better. It is a heavy price up front, but overall, it's amazing. I could not recommend it more. If you were to start FPV now, I would go digital all the way. Just save up first and then go digital. Don't go analog and then go digital. So that would be the best thing to do. Now, I've done some pre-production, but coming out here, I know it hasn't been enough. So a heads up would be just to do more pre-production. I think that's where you can get every shot, and that's where you can really nail it and make sure that in your head, you won't forget any shot. Because as the hot air balloons, they just took off, I know I forgot some shots to get. So if I had a checklist and if I did some more pre-production, I know I wouldn't have missed that. Okay, these are some sick shots. I just need one more. Oh crap, battery level's low. I'll make it, let's just head back in. Crap, oh crap, no. Oh, I'm at full throttle now, I'm at full throttle. Come on. Crap, it's gone. So drone just crashed in I think a field over there. I'll go let's hope I go find it. I'll be right back. So things just went bad really quickly. Let me give you a rundown of what just actually happened. I was flying, and as you saw, I was getting the shots of the hot air balloons. But what happened is, as I was flying, it was about a mile or so out. I had enough signal, but I wasn't paying attention to my battery life. So it was a rookie mistake. And what happened is while I was flying out there, I saw that my battery life got down pretty low. So it was lower than I expected and lower than I wanted to be. It was about 3.5, 3.6 volts. Now this is when I actually like to land. And being a mile out, that's pretty far for that low of battery life. And then again, I'm pretty high up too. So when I'm flying back, I started to come in, and as you know, when your battery life just starts to die off, once it's about 3.4, 3.3 volts, it just goes like that. So when I was coming back, it just started going down and down, and my throttle's at the top. I am maxed out. So I'm coming in, and luckily I'm starting to take in like areas where I can crash. I don't want to crash into trees, and I don't want to crash into someone's house, because then it's definitely gone at that point. And as I reach about the tree line, it just cuts off. my battery got down to about 1.1 to 1.3 volts. I think that's the lowest I've ever gotten it. Now, I knew what area it was in, and I start running that way. And once I run down the road about a mile, I know where I kind of am. And my controller was completely disconnected, my goggles weren't showing anything. So luckily, I had the AirTag on it. I throw an AirTag onto every one of my drones because if something like this happens, then if your goggles, battery, or if anything gets disconnected, you have an AirTag. So I pull out my phone, and of course, it's in the middle of a field, so no update. Luckily, I can kind of see the rough area of where it was last. So I'm headed in that direction. I go down the road where I think it is, and there's 3 people just standing there looking into a field. As I go over, I ask them where my drone is, and they point and say it's in the field. I go up, I ask the person, they let me into their field. Man, people from Argentina are just amazing. They're so nice. And I get my drone. I'm seriously so grateful that I'm able to find this. Heads up in the future, and for you guys to make sure you don't make the same mistake, watch your battery life. I was so far out that I didn't pay attention. I know, most of the time I pay attention and I look, but I was so engulfed in trying to get the shot that even me, a pilot who's been flying for years, just overlooks it and crashes their drone. So even with the most simple mistake that anyone can make, it can get overlooked, and just be aware sometimes. I know for me, this was a big mistake, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.